Hello. Let's break through this annoying writer's block together today and write with us for just 10 minutes. I'm Victoria.
I'm Pranav.
And this is Struggle is Real. So today's topics are
Perfection is not an end goal, growth is.
So we will be writing around this topic, and Pranav helped to prepare a couple of prompts. So what's prompt number one?
So the first prompt is, where in your life are you growing right now, even if it feels messy, imperfect, and unfinished? I chose this topic because I feel like sometimes we need to appreciate our achievements, even though they feel messy or imperfect at times, and you might get the imposter syndrome. So yeah, that's for prompt one.
Okay. We will go into more details after we write because I'm curious in what area of your life you're talking about.
Okay.
And the next prompt, the second prompt to choose from will be, how did you overcome the perfectionist mindset and whether it helped you or discouraged you from growth? So the perfectionistic mindset I was talking to Pranav earlier permeates in every aspect of life. There's so many different areas. We're so multi-dimensional beings, right? And for me, though, I would like to touch base with what I'm doing right now. Sitting live, interviewing Pranav, together writing, overcoming my own writer's block. And I was also telling you that my fear of regretting this at the end of my life and fear of failure were always like pushing and pulling each other. And my fear of regretting outgrew the fear of failure. And there's no failure. I know we say this, but failure would mean looking stupid or feeling it. That's what the failure is. So this is why I'm doing this. And there's much more to come. And with that said, let's start writing for just 10 minutes. You can choose your own prompt. And if none of this relates and you're accidentally here, just write whatever you want to write about. And most importantly, please do not edit. Please do not go back, analyze your little like 10-minute writing. The whole point is like we start and then whatever comes out, comes out. And ready, set, go. And time is up.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Pranav.
Yeah.
I also always say that if, and hopefully someone out there is writing, and this 10 minutes is, I noticed it's for myself, is exactly like that in time. It's enough for me to get like rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And because the 5 minutes is too little, but in 10 minutes, I noticed that I was already in the flow and the ideas were coming in. Of course, it's day by day thing, but so I'm curious. I want to ask you, how did your writing go, and which prompt did you choose?
My writing went great, and I chose the first prompt
Mm-hmm.
because I think like I want to talk about perfection, and perfection is kind of like this mindset that everything has to be the best of your abilities, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes growth is not often the best of your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced through this for my bar exam
Mm-hmm.
because I always felt like the moment I come into the US,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna clear the bar the first time,
Yeah.
and it never happened. So I was like, I was very devastated because I felt like everything was going perfect. You know, what's wrong with me, or like,
Mm-hmm.
where have I lacked?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I started, um, you know, looking at it from a different perspective.
Okay. For the context, Pranav is an attorney.
Not yet.
Not yet, but soon. He's talking about his bar exam journey, correct?
Yes.
So people know what. Okay. Go ahead.
So the first time, I got like 239, and
Mm-hmm.
coming from like India, I basically understood like all the 16 subjects and understood how the bar exam went.
Yeah.
And the second time, I started focusing more on the preparation part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it went from 230 to 259. The second time, like that effect was even greater because I felt like I've invested so much amount of
Mm-hmm.
time and emotion into this exam, and then I failed again. But then, I think the growth mentality will keep you sustained for a long time if you want to achieve something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like in a perfectionist mindset, you might achieve it the first time, but it's not sustainable if you want to like achieve an end, like numerous goals.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It's also very personal journeys, and but the whole gist of it is the same. What you're talking about. There's
Yeah.
there's no such thing as a flawless event or a thing. or a person, or I don't know, what is perfectionism? Like, how would you define the word?
Uh, I don't know if I would get into like the correct definition of
Mm-hmm.
perfectionism, but I want to compare it in terms of growth and perfectionism, because I feel like they're two mutually exclusive things,
Yeah.
and perfection is like uh, it's like a side effect of growth.
Okay.
When your growth is at its best, it's perfection.
Okay, so that is perfection for you. Like
Yes.
what when I'm talking. Okay, so I think I'm talking about the different perfections. When I say perfection, somehow it has a little bit of negative connotation for me.
Okay.
Perfection is something unattainable. It's paralyzing wish to be so flawless that a mind has not yet comprehend such a thing.
Right.
But becoming but the growth mindset, becoming the perfect through growth. That's another type of perfection for me, becoming the best of the best that you can be, but in a humanly realistic way.
Yes.
That you know what I don't
It
know if it makes sense.
it makes sense, because perfection, yeah, it's I think your idea is like basically saying, everything has to be flawless, and yeah, I think that makes sense, and that is completely true for some.
Yeah, but that's a lot of artists and lawyers are very perfectionistic. We're
Yeah.
very meticulous, which is a good thing.
Right.
It just sometimes it inhibits the progress because people are afraid to start, because if they start, they might find out they're not good enough, or they might think they're not good enough. There's so many expectations. They birth the disappointments, or like misconstrued idea of how the outcome should be.
Right. But if you look at it, like, for example, let's take aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Aeroplanes have to be perfect. Like, even if one screw is out, the whole, like, every passenger
Well,
dies.
yeah, that I agree. That.
Yeah, but then if you look at it, if you look at how humans invented planes, the
Mhm.
journey, it
Mhm.
was never like the first flight was never flawless, right?
Yes.
The Wright brothers basically they just held on to the
Mhm.
wings, and like it was probably an adventure for them. Like they risked their lives for it. But
Yeah.
then humans basically like adapted, like they've done a lot of trial and error, and
Mhm.
they achieved that perfection as a side effect. Like it's as
Correct.
not
Okay,
the
I
end
understand.
goal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to get at.
Uh-huh.
And like even if you take like people are going on moon and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and those things have to be like 100% perfect. There's no room for like 0.00 error also.
Yeah, that is
One.
correct.
Yeah.
But what about in academic? What about in a PhD paper or thesis that you'll be writing on? What is perfection there for you? Like
in thesis, it's the same thing, because the like obviously you won't come up with the best first draft.
yeah,
You'll have to.
intellectual perfection. That's my area of curiosity. I'm
Okay.
talking about pure intellectual perfection. Like what is a perfect piece of work for you?
I think pure intellectual perfection is a utopian dream, and it
Correct.
never exists. Because like if you look at the most best researched articles, they're probably like edited and proofread it like 10 or 15 times, and they've done through a lot of reviews before it is actually published. So yeah, I
That's
think that's my.
awesome. I love this topic. So, first of all, thank you for introducing this topic. And this is not the end. Like we can talk about this forever. I can talk about this forever. I just want to say that when I started this little YouTube television, I hope you come back. First of all, I hope you can come back after you pass the exam.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in your life, we want to hear from you as an attorney and as academia. Because I have talked to a lot of different types of writers, not just fictional writers, but out there are so many different ways to create and be creative. So what I was saying is that I would like to roll this topics out to the degree of their complexity. So I was thinking to start it simple, but today we just jumped into like a really complex topic. So there's no way we can say everything about this topic today. I just will quickly say what I wrote was. I notice that sometimes when I'm in the flow and I write things here in this 10 minutes, I know that I'm working on some anthology series. I know that I'm going to use it there, you know. And for today, for closing, I want to say that these 10 minutes are specifically designed to relax our brain. Nobody's grading this, nobody's assessing this, you don't analyze it, you don't even have to go back if you don't feel comfortable with it. And I want to close out. I was thinking about literature piece that I discovered a few years ago, and it's a book called East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And this is this is a very, very amazing book. Long story short, at the end, there's this conversation, and one of the characters goes, and now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. Is that it? And the female Abra says, oh, I guess so. Maybe that's it. So for me, what I heard here is that you can, if you don't have, you don't have to be perfect. You can be good, and being good for me is also being like it's the best that you can be. And when I first read this, it gave me so much relief that allowed me, okay, I mean, there's no way I can be perfect in the aesthetic, literally sense. So I wouldn't say much more about this, but as usual, live stream goes interesting ways. And also, I parked where I might be towed. So I don't know anything else you'd like to give advice, someone out there who's taking a bar exam, who's preparing for something, or if someone is stuck and they cannot like get themselves to do some, you know, school work or any kind of writing work, how would you get out of that kind of funk if you ever have that, you know, when you have like down period, and what can they do?
So like bar exam is very demanding, and like the moment you fail the bar, the first 1 week is gonna be heavy. It's gonna be emotionally heavy, and I would say like give it some time and gather back the patience and the courage to write it again, and just be patient with it, because sometimes it's not like everybody has to clear it the first time. And some people take more attempts, some people take less attempts. If you have the ambition to become an attorney or a lawyer, I think you should invest your time, energy, and money, because it's in the end it's rewarding and you're gonna love the career.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us and being with yourself, most of all.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I feel like I saw one of your videos on perfection, and that was the main reason I brought this topic. And I was like, hey, Victoria, I wanted to reach out and I wanted to join with one of your writing series. And it feels great.
Thank you. It's such a big honor for me and privilege. And I hope you come back, and we will have a lot of time and series about this topic, because this topic is endless. Okay, guys, hopefully see you next Sunday. Have a great day and great